Good morning, everyone. I am pleased today to welcome to the office Pranav Samineni. He is a Harvard student, and also he does serve for PASTA. It's a nonprofit organization. You've been for almost 8 years right now. So, Pranav, thank you for being here today and talk to us about PASTA and who you are and what you do for them. So, can you share with us a little bit about you and what led you to be part of this great nonprofit organization?
Sure, of course. Well, firstly, Natasha and your team, really appreciate you having PASTA here to talk with the community. I think this program to showcase different groups is really incredible. And I'm here today representing my executive director, the board of directors of middle and high school students, over 120 active PASTA members, and hundreds of alumni. And it's a really special legacy and story built over the last 10 years. I'm really happy to share that with you. So I think the story began really in 2013 when a group of students, middle and high school students, wanted to reinvent what service meant. To them, service had become a thing of checking off the boxes, of fulfilling the requirements, of I need to get my hours, right? And under the PASTA brand, we felt like service had to be something different. Like it had to be driven by your passions. You had to truly care about the issues in the community. You're informed by your personal experiences. And so under those principles, that group of people, one day in someone's basement decided to start PASTA with that vision of changing the way the world cares, right? So their first project, they cared about hunger relief in the community. And so they raised a half a ton of cereal for Dulles South Food Pantry. Sorry, Loudon Hunger Relief, I believe it was. And they had a few successes early on. They had won Step Up Loudon, which is a youth competition for novel ideas. And with those successes, they decided that this is an idea that people believe in, that they really want to grow this into something unique and special. So they did just that. They planted the seeds for PASTA to grow into something that's over the last 10 years has become an organization with over 450 members, accomplishing over 750 service projects, with over 98 chapters, I believe it was when I checked. They decided that PASTA would operate on a chapter basis of groups of 4 to 6 students. And over those 8 years, they grew from 1 chapter to 2 chapters at another school, to 3 and 10, and now we operate with around 25 active chapters every year. So my story started in 2016 when I was 14 or 15 years old. I was a freshman at Rockbridge High School. I was this very shy kid. I wasn't sure really at all what service was. And I was told, my mom was told by one of the neighbors that, there's this thing called PASTA. Let's take a look at this. So I reluctantly agreed to my mom asking me to, do some service in the community. I had done nothing until that point beyond shoveling the occasional driveway with snow. So, I met my friends and we started a chapter. It was chapter 107. And I think really in those moments, something special happened. Our very first program was a weekly Saturday morning math and tutoring at InMed. And so we created the curriculum. We taught kids every week on homework help and so on. And I think those kids, they received everything as if they were the biggest gifts of their life, right? So incredibly grateful. But I think being there was really a gift for us too. We were rethinking what it meant to be volunteers in the community, right? right? This was no longer about the hours. It was no longer about checking off the boxes for school. So I think our mindset changed in that moment, and we moved forward as a chapter that really thought about our passions and our interests as it related to service. My journey continued in pasta. A few years after that, I was in a fundraiser, and the executive director tapped on my shoulder and said, "You know, I think you'd do great as a leader. You know, I think you've shown some promise in pasta, and you should interview for the student board of directors. And you know, I think kids need someone to believe in them, right? They need that tap on the shoulder to really put their next step forward and you know, go do that next thing." So I interviewed for the board of directors and joined that year, and I think that set in motion my journey of leadership in pasta. I became the vice president and the president in 2019. I went to Johns Hopkins for school and became a college intern, and now as a medical student at Harvard, I continue to stay involved in various programs, helping the board.
Wow, and I know the medical career, it's not easy and take a lot of time and hours for studying and everything. So thank you. Do you know what is the story behind the word? Why they decide to call it pasta? Is that because of the pasta? Like why they? Do you know the story behind the word? The word.
So you know, that's a funny question. I had so many interviews for medical school. All of them ask me, why pasta? You know, it's so odd. It's so it's very quirky. I gotta tell you, there's no reason. I think the group of kids who came up with the name thought it was fun. Thought it you know, they actually chose the name and then assigned the what it stood for. It stands for Peers and Students Taking Action. And to be honest, having something unique like that really helps it stick. You know, everyone kind of knows, oh, that pasta, that's that group. I wonder if they cook pasta. We don't, but.
So tell us a little bit about different programs.
Sure.
What do you do? I know you mentioned that you are almost 21 chapter right now. Now, where are you located? Is that Loudon or Loudon Fairfax or?
Sure. So PASTA has impacted over 21,000 kids in the last 13 years since its founding. We operate in Loudoun County. We believe that serving the community right around us is how we make the strongest impact. Some of our projects impact single kids. We work with the sibling who lost her sister tragically with monthly support kits. We support with mentorship the boy whose father was incarcerated. Some of our projects help groups of kids. We have a project called Project Broadway, which teaches kids about or had kids act out with props and acting the different endings of Disney movies, or our holiday store, where kids can be on both sides of the exchange of gift giving, both the receiving end and the giving end, because sometimes being on both ends can be so special. Yet other programs impact much larger groups of people. We have our annual rice drive, which has collected to date 1/2 ton of rice for the Dalit South Food Pantry. We have our passion kits during the COVID era, which developed over 300 kits that had all the supplies and instruction for a kid to discover a new passion, given to 3 elementary schools in Loudoun County when reports of stress, depression, and suicide were at an all-time high during the COVID pandemic. And we have our Family Field Day at Cedar Lane Elementary School, which brings together kids and their families for fun activities outdoors. Our Nothing's Impossible mentorship and tutoring program, which has had over 1,000 free tutoring sessions to date. One of my favorite programs, Eagleville, was in partnership with the Windy Hill Foundation at a local apartment building to run PASTA summer camps. I think each moment in PASTA teaches PASTA kids critical soft skills, compassion, leadership, the issues in Loudoun County that really transform them into passionate, lifelong volunteers. And I think that itself is a really immeasurable future impact.
Absolutely. Wow. So you have several programs during the year. Anything during the 8 years you with them any like special or maybe some unique accomplishment you are proud you did accomplish as all of you together?
Yes. You know, Pasta's accomplishments are my accomplishments, and you know, vice versa. I feel so proud when Pasta has done something. We've had so many over the past several years. We won Step Up Loudon twice for community programs. We were a finalist at the Small Business Award by the Loudon Chambers. I remember seeing you guys.
Yes, I was there.
You were, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
We were given money, or grant money from 100 Women Strong from our tutoring program. We were funded by the Leesburg Daybreak Rotary for various leadership programs. But I think really what Pasta's claim to fame is that we focus on multiple touches. We're not really about these one-off touches with kids, you know, do a program on an off day and you know, that's kind of it. That's not been our philosophy. I think kind of applying the rule of 7 for marketing, where it takes those 7 touches to really make an impact. We believe that meeting, working, engaging with the kids on an ongoing basis is what really makes that powerful change. So we've done that for several years at InMed, when we really got to know those kids through dozens of Pasta programs. And now we're doing the same at a local apartment building with the Windy Hill Foundation. It all began 2 years ago when we ran a leadership program, a free summer camp for the kids there. One of my most favorite programs, and it's called Eagleville. We wanted to teach kids about leadership, but you know, you can't just sit kids in a classroom and talk to them intellectually. That doesn't work. So we decided to use creating your own business as a way to teach them about leadership. We gave them each some seed money and paired them into teams, and they created their own businesses. By the end of
what ages we're talking here?
These were 4th to 5th graders. So you know, some of them were like slime, some very silly ideas, but some of them were, you know, they had created their own instruments. You know, very creative ideas there. At the end of the program, we had all 10 ideas showcased at a market day, where we invited all 130 plus community members came, and we gave them these fake dollars called Eagle Bucks the kids had chosen and designed, and they shopped around at the 10 booths there. I think each moment was a really electric one of sharing, of support between the peers and the peer-to-peer, between student, Pasta student, and peer, between the customer and the seller. It was a really beautiful program. I met 2 kids there who I really saw grow over the span of the program, a 2nd grader and a 4th grader who were brothers. And you know, I had the opportunity to come back to that same apartment building last week actually, and you know, I met those same 2 kids again, and seeing them was so wonderful. Seeing how the Pasta programs have the relationship they built with our members is really a special moment. And so thanks for asking that question. That's you know, a few things
that's great, because I assume you did probably more of that, but during all this time. What next for Pasta? What is any mission, any new goal you're thinking 2025 or even 2026? Are you planning to expand? Are you planning to open or have more chapters? And if it is, what are you looking for?
Right. I think that's a great question. We, as Pasta, we're on the shadow of our 10th anniversary last year, and we've been thinking a lot about how do we create a model that can survive infinitely into the future, right? We have students who graduate after 3, 4, 5 years from high school, who go to college. There's a high turnover. Kids can be difficult, challenging to handle sometimes. You know, there's complex dynamics there. So I think what Pasta's really been investing in is leadership, is training Pasta members how to be the best leaders they can be. And so we've been designing a leadership program for PASTA members that teaches them the key skills of leadership. And in the PASTA fashion, it's through a project. You know, you can't sit them down in a classroom and talk to them. Really, you have to show them in practice how to do it. So they do a project, and in so doing that project, we teach them what are the principles of follow-through, accountability, of teamwork, which are all components of leadership. That's a big priority for us in this coming year. And I think the next one is probably our partnerships. I think we rely on our partners for offering us generously the spaces with which to run our programs, as well as often the kids. So we really value our partners who are able to give us the platform to run these programs, because without them, you know, we won't have a home to place all these brilliant ideas that come out of our PASTA members. And so we're certainly looking for that as well.
Yeah, that's great. Can you share with us a little bit how can the audience who are listening right now, if it was student, how they can get involved? Are you looking for any volunteer? Also, as business owners, businesses in the county, how can we help?
Sure. I appreciate you asking that. So as far as our chapters, our enrollment is actually open right now over the summer. We enroll new chapters until September, and each chapter is paired with an older PASTA mentor that teaches them how do you function as a team in a chapter, how do you run a PASTA project, and so we're certainly recruiting new volunteers to join chapters at the moment. As far as our programs, they do require a significant volunteer investment as well as a financial investment. Many of the programs that we run were a result of generous grants that we were awarded from various community partners, and we are incredibly grateful when we get that opportunity. You know, we're kind of like a think tank. We have so many ideas, and oftentimes it can be money that's the barrier to execute.
Nothing for free.
Exactly right. So we do have a few platforms through which you can access us. We have a Loudon Cares page, which lists various opportunities for volunteering. You can visit our website at www.wearepasta.org, which lists ways that you can contact us, get involved, as well as donate to PASTA. We are a part of Give Choose every year, and we're happy to explore any opportunity that comes our way.
Yeah. Any event this year coming up? Would you like to share with us?
We have, many of our events are again chapter focused. We have we run almost 100 programs every year by the volunteers. We do have a banquet every year. We do have a leadership program, like I mentioned. I think we're brainstorming now what our kind of next public event is going to be, but we're excited to announce it once it's ready.
Okay. Thank you very, very much for being here today and share about PASTA. Keep going, you're great. Thank you for your service, thank you for your time, and to all of you to be all together. I mean, 21 chapters, that's really impressive.
Thank you so much, Natasha, and your team for the opportunity.